Now, one thing that you do want to understand is the difference between visible and usable light, or visible versus usable color spectrums. So the colors that are bright to our eyes are irrelevant to the colors that are absorbed by corals or even plants. So you cannot compare one light to another light by how bright it looks, because the whiter it is, the more yellow, the whiter, the brighter. And white light isn't necessarily the light that you're looking for. So if you look at the sun is yellow, and the sun is going to emit about 5,500 Kelvin. Then as you go underwater, the Kelvin rating will raise. So a little bit under the water, you're going to get 10,000, then 12,000, then deeper and deeper down to 20,000 Kelvin. And there are different types of diodes that emit different nanometers or wavelengths. The diode, for example, that I get the best results from with my corals, for example, is your 420 nms. Now your 420 nms, which to me is the most valuable light, are the ones that look like they're hardly even on, because the color of the 420 nm is not very visible to the eye, but it is completely usable for the corals. Other spectrums, such as your 450 nms, which are the really bright ones that look really good, they're reflective, not absorptive. So the corals are reflecting it. So they're the ones that give you those beautiful blues in the corals and makes the corals look blue, because the color from the light is being reflected instead of being absorbed. So the key is to understand what sort of requirements your animals have, and to deliver lights that are going to deliver what your animals want. For example, if you have a planted tank, you're going to want lower Kelvin lighting. If you have a coral tank, you're going to want higher Kelvin lighting. Shallow water versus deep water. And so once you understand the animals that you keep, you then can tailor lights that are specific for what you're after, and it is not relevant how bright the lights look to your eyes, because all that is saying is how much of it in the spectrum that humans see. And because obviously humans only see a small portion of the spectrums that are available. The other thing is the credibility of the light unit. There are many cheap light units that will say whatever they want on the package. They will say they've got 420 nm diodes, for example, but they actually don't. They just look at the sales pictures on the more reputable brands, and they write exactly the same thing, because they do not have a research and development division, and they do not care. They just want to produce something as cheap as possible, throw it in a box with the perceived value, and sell it to you with zero credibility. So the credibility of the lighting company that you're buying the lights from is also very important, because you would hate to do a bunch of research and figure out the specific light that your animals require, only to find out that you've bought cheap, crappy lights that don't even admit what is on the advertised box. So anyway, if you've got any other tips or things that you can add to light spectrum, then put a little note at the bottom of this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.